KTT Talks by Paula and Ricardo ALC. Let's talk about Kizomba. Welcome everybody that are here. Thank you very much for listening and watching to the KTT Talks podcast. KTT means Kizomba Teachers Training, a program that me and Paula created back to 2013, where we share our step-by-step to teach how to dance Kizomba. And it's a methodology that we developed since already 2001, many years of testing, and we decided to share it with the world. And we have many people from different parts of the world that study with us and apply this methodology. And Astrid is one of our beautiful students from this program, and it's a pleasure and an honor to receive you here. For a long time that we are not seeing each other. Yeah. And it's good because it's your first experience in a live here with us. So good.
Really cool. I actually have a lot of first experiences with you guys. Yeah.
So nice. It's good that.
So usually on this talk, what we do is to talk a little bit about
now
your background.
Sound is gone.
Oh, really?
And now, can you hear us?
Oh, wait a second. I'm so sorry.
No problem. We wait.
Meanwhile,
yes.
Are listening, please share this live. We're gonna have very inspiring conversation here with Astrid, and it's very important that you do that for us for sharing to get more people. So Astrid, we will start to talk a little bit about you, some things that we might not know about your background, and if you could please share with us, who is Astrid, where did you born, what is your roots, what was your studying before the dance. Let's talk a little bit before the dance and after, when the dance entered in your life. Good?
Yes, sure. I'm actually from a really little village in Holland, and then when I started studying fashion academy, that's what I studied. I went to a big city. I've been living in Amsterdam, living in all kind of places where there was a lot of dance, but I didn't know about dance at all until I was doing a styling job at a furniture factory, and then I discovered salsa.
So nice.
Nice.
Can we know more or less back to what year that happened?
I think 1999 I discovered salsa.
So good.
Yeah.
Which salsa? Cuban salsa?
No, the Antillean. The
Antillean
side
salsa.
to side. Yeah.
Oh, so good. So
Nice.
good. Do you remember the name of your instructor? The person that presented you the salsa?
Yeah, definitely. Her name is Lina Domokase. She actually already passed away.
Oh.
But she really brought the salsa to the Netherlands. And when I, for the first time, danced Kizomba, it reminded me to that style and that connection, actually. Yeah.
So,
yes, she was really inspiring. I think without her, I would not have had your salsa. I would not have started teaching, and also the energy and well, you guys know. I mean, I've been, of course, at your school, and the way you are treating your students, it's like a big family. It's not everywhere that it's like that, but the way you are interacting with your students and making it more about more than only dance. Yeah, that's what she was also all about. Yeah.
it's so important, that first experience that we have when we get in contact with dance, like you had, that made you make dance a part of your life and being your profession. The same as myself, because I started very young and my first experience was so good, including Paula was the teacher when I started dancing. but this kind of first experience is very important. So that's why it's one of the things that we defend, that we must give experience to people, or we need to take in consideration that people don't go to a place to learn only how to dance. They will go there to find experience, to find better ways of living, and sometimes trying to find things that they don't know that they need. So we, as dance instructors, we have a big responsibility about that. So
definitely.
But that process, so you found that amazing teacher, you started attending some lessons, you started going to parties. That was more or less the process.
Well, the trial lesson actually I didn't like.
Oh.
I did like the class, but you know, about the bending with the merengue, I did not understand, and I thought, let them dance. I just saw your video of your heels. I was wearing like this kind of heels. I could barely walk, and I started dancing merengue. And of course, they said something about, oh, this is not good. So I felt stupid. not being able to do it, I immediately felt like I was not good enough. So actually I said to the guy that took me to the class, a guy invited me. I said, this is really stupid. And then, you know, he said, we really want to do that. We're going to learn some steps. And I thought, okay, I'm just going to do this for 8 weeks. And then he knows it's stupid, you know, then we're going to quit and we're going to do something else. So actually I wasn't, although I really loved the way she taught, I think my personal defense was keeping me away. That's also a reason why I think I'm always convinced that everybody wants to dance, because, you know, you always have that, not everybody, but a lot of people are scared of doing something new.
It's true. And what happened between the moment that you gave that 8 weeks try? For sure you loved it after a while because you are still here. And how was the process to decide to start also sharing with others that passion that you got through the dance and start teaching also? How was that process in the between?
The reason that I think I fell in love is because after 2 times I already was going out to normal parties. I decided to go to a salsa party, and then I got included, and I stood dancing on the floor all night, and I felt how it was to dance together as well. So I think that changed the feeling. How I became teacher, I just started assisting there. I got addicted and I wanted to help other people to dance. Didn't matter at the beginning. I mean, you know, I started dancing 1 evening a week, and then they needed a girl to dance with a guy who couldn't keep rhythm, and I didn't mind. I just stood there dancing the whole night, and that kept on going. And yeah, so all of a sudden I was assisting, and all of a sudden some people asked me if I want to do a show group, and I did. And then
do you remember what year you got your first group of students alone? So that process, you were assisting, you were learning, but there is a moment that you need to stand forward and have the first group of students. Do you remember more or less in what year that happened?
That was, I think, 2005, 5, I think, yeah.
And it was salsa that you were teaching?
Yeah, well, actually, it was a solo class that we started to do, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And how it appeared, the Kizomba, after? How many years after it appeared in your life?
I actually danced the first Kizomba. I didn't know it was Kizomba. I was at a party. There was at that time only Zouk. And I didn't like the Lambada Zouk, but there was a guy, you know, dancing just on spot.
In Holland, the Brazilian Zouk was very
strong.
Powerful.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. But in that moment, I saw at that party that the other room there was salsa, and there was a place where you could eat, and they played also the zouk. But there was one guy who wasn't dancing lambada zouk, but he was dancing like the merengue kind of, I thought. So I said to him, I want to dance with you. And he said, no, but I don't dance it. I said, no, I don't want to dance that. I want to dance what you dance. So we danced. And at the end of the dance, I said to him, you know, I really loved it, especially the correction step that you at each time did. But I was just like the marker, right? But I didn't know. So I said, that was a really nice merengue. And he looked at me really angry and he said, that was Kizomba.
Oh my God.
I remember it was a nice dance, but it was merengue-like. I forgot because it was 2007 and nobody in Holland knew about it. And then in 2010, it became more and more, and I went to Batuk.
In London.
Oh, nice.
London.
Yeah. And I remember because I've done the whole congress there, and at the end, almost finished, I went into a room, and there were 2 teachers teaching so clearly. I didn't like the fact that I missed them, but they were you.
Was that the moment that you met us? It was your first experience with us?
Yeah, I think we didn't really meet. That's the first time I saw you, but the year after that we really met. I still have the picture that we took, but that year, I mean, I don't remember taking that year picture. I think I just saw you at the end teaching, and I was like, shit, I didn't know they were like, you know, I didn't know what to look for. So yeah, that was really nice.
So good. So there is the moment that starts appearing a small positive virus that is spreading through your body regarding Kizomba, and you start trying to to figure out more, and I imagine to try to research more. How was that process of researching? Because we are talking about a time that on internet, it was not easy to find things. So how was your process?
Yeah, finding workshop everywhere around Holland and more, going to congresses. But in the beginning, there was actually so much basic that you were not really, I had the feeling that I was always learning the same stuff, but with a little difference. Yeah, that was really a nice time, because also the community was really small, so you knew each other. It was really like the beginning of it. But also hard, because you wanted to grow faster and it wasn't possible. I think for everybody who's starting now, they're like at such a great place. Yeah.
Oh, so nice.
So you start trying to find that, and there is a moment that you start thinking about the possibility of teaching it, because I would like to know, usually I know the reasons that are behind that change, that switch moment, but I would like to listen from you. What was the why for you to start having this idea of teaching Kizomba at your hometown?
The demand of the students. I really loved the dance. I started following classes as a leader and doing a party following at another location. And then on Friday night, I had on my own school still the salsa parties, but I was already so addicted to the Kizomba. So instead of waiting, I just asked a girl and practiced. And the girls were like, "Oh, but Astrid, you really need to teach this." But I said, "I don't know enough. I don't know enough. I'm just starting." "No, but we want our guys to dance this." So I just started, and then I started to take it seriously, because at that moment I was just learning. I wasn't even thinking about doing it at school.
So from a person that already have some experience teaching salsa, and for sure you had already like a methodology, a structure, because you had regular lessons, when starts appearing this possibility of start to teach a dance style that you don't master and there is not so much information too easily to catch, what was your biggest difficulties to start constructing something? Do you remember?
Oh my.
You start teaching like workshops?
The fact that I had the feeling that I didn't know enough.
Okay. But regarding what? Regarding
the culture,
steps,
the
dance,
everything. Yeah, through the culture. I was still learning. I still didn't think that I did the steps the way that it should be done. And then I was already teaching. So personally, I found it too early to teach. But at the same time, you know, there was nothing better at that moment. So I decided to just start and to step up, because I went to Portugal, took some teacher training for you, and then I went directly, really fast after that, I went to your teacher training, and I did all, you know, I just really stepped up and started practicing. Lived in Lisbon for a month to just dance, and yeah.
Yeah, that's a beautiful process. But did you start by teaching like small pop-up workshops, or did you wanted to start straight a regular course with your students?
No, we just started 5 weeks, and then I actually don't know what we did after the 5 weeks. If I just continued, or I don't remember.
Okay, so but you were saying that you were trying to find, and you were traveling because it was the only way to have access to that information, and you made an amazing process from what you are telling us, going directly to Pachu, to go directly to the roots, to learn all about where the things comes from, the roots, the traditions, the dance is associated to all the umbrella that make the appearance of the Kizomba after with the carnival dances. I imagine that you passed through that process with Pachu, but then you decided to do the training with us. Why you decide that?
I think because of the first time that I met you, although I already had other classes with you, but I think the clearness of your explanation, and I think you also really, I mean, I did not, of course I did come back the second time, and I also sent two of my teachers also went. So yeah, I mean, that's already proving that I'm really happy with it. But the reason that I went, and what you also proven, is the structure, the way you know about the history and know how to explain it to me as just a Dutch girl with no African background. It really became clear. Even, you know, a lot of that what you told, after doing your training, I was reading it again. I was like, oh, okay, now I understand.
Mm-hmm.
And it also has to do with time, you learn. But I think, yeah, it was really nice. Yeah.
Do you remember what were the tools? Okay, you already spoke about the structure, but did you pick up more things from the KTT that maybe you were not expecting? Do you remember if there is something?
The way you are, actually, I learned a lot about that as well. When we enter the location, that you're always present, that you, of course, I've been seeing you doing the classes, that you always see all your students, you're saying hi, you're on full energy, that you in between master the time to see somebody doing their performance and improve them and give them positive feedback, that you in between find time to grow and work on yourself. So you really had already all the facets in your life really together. And that you also, it was funny, talked about how it's to be in a relationship and then at the same time be in a working relationship, how that sometimes can clash, but at the same time you have to be professional. And I could really see how you, with such short sleeping nights, because I remember at that time there was also a festival.
It's true.
Crazy. Do you remember at the end, so when the training finished, the boost of energy when you go back home? Do you remember that feeling? So finishing something, having material in the hands, being inspired in somehow by a structure that it works, by a building that can create a lot of dreams, because we know that we are lucky and blessed for having this building that might be a dream of any person that work in the dance, because you have the stage, you have the studios, you have the club, everything is thought for people that want to breathe and live this life. How is that boost of energy going back home? Do you, because I don't know if you remember that one of the things that I said at the beginning of the training is that we want you at the end of this training to finish with the will that you can change the world, at least the world around yourself. How was that energy? It was like adrenaline shot that was able to make you move after.
Thank you for reminding of that. Because I think, yes, I found it's, I don't know if I would call it adrenaline, but I would call it more the energy of the connection. More in a way of really connecting with your students and really, yeah, I think that is the biggest thing that I took. I think I'm already at that time I was already really passionate about teaching and about, have been really driven. I couldn't, but really the connection and the way to really see everybody, I think that got bigger. Yeah.
When you got to the KTT, the level 1, were you already teaching Kizomba or not yet?
Yeah, they made me.
And what was different after?
I'm serious, because I would not have, yeah.
No,
sorry?
No worries. We need to start, and
yes,
there is nothing wrong, and each one of us, we have our own path, including I usually share that when I start teaching, when I look back, I don't know how my students were paying me for that, because I was really bad, but it was my path, it was my process. And I was asking, when you got back home, in a way that you were already teaching, and after the training, what were the changes? Do you remember?
I made my program more, simple is not a word, but you know, I was doing too difficult stuff too quickly, I think. So I extended it, and even later I extended it even more. So I even made it, because there's so much in the basics. Yeah.
That is a very important point that you are touching there. And this is mainly to try to talk for those that are starting teaching now, and maybe for some of experienced teachers, because we have this difficulty to lower down our level to the level of a student that we have in front of us. Things that for us are so simple can be very complicated for someone that is having the contact for the first time with that kind of vocabulary, with that kind of motion, of movement, being in contact with another person that they never made it before. So we need to balance here, and this is like the biggest secret and the biggest trick in our methodology. We need to balance the amount of information that we share in a way that they can learn, but in a way that they also can keep interested and not become monotonous or to become boring. So what we idealized was how we can do the same thing in different ways. So this is the basic foundation of our structure, is to repeat the basic steps in the most different ways we can remember, combining them in a lot of different ways, giving different choreographies that are the same steps, but applying different orders. So for the students at the beginning, this is a little bit complicated because they don't have much time to memorize choreographies, but faster they start being able to dance in a creative way and improvisation. Did you felt that transformation with your students, that faster they started being able to improvise and go to the social dancing?
Yeah, I started applying partly also more doing the steps in little combinations at the end instead of only the techniques. That's true. And then they start to be able to dance quicker, just really dancing. Yes, definitely true. Yeah, that's definitely working. Although you are really bigger in the longer choreographies, I'm still letting them practice more and more. Yeah.
Yes, that is very important. And so for those that are listening to us, if you want to become a teacher one day, or even if you are already a teacher, try to look inside, try to look, now that we are more stopped, look to your program, try to understand, maybe this is too much, or maybe this is too less, or maybe we can do in a different way. And we need to test to make sure that the things will happen in a different way. I remember that, I think it was you that made this question for the first time, because you attended the second edition of KTT, I think.
No, the first actually.
The first, exactly.
Oh, the first and the second. I mean, if you're talking about levels, I did the first one and the second level.
The edition, because we made here in Porto 15 editions. I don't know if you attend the first or the second, but it was first.
I did really first. Yeah, with part of your team even in it.
Exactly. So exactly, I'm not remember. It was including Oliver taking the pictures and all that stuff. So, morning faces. And it was, I think it was because a question that we made, that we need also to change the way of speech during the training, the KTT, because our reality here in Portugal, when we have beginner students to Kizomba, they are like 90% of them beginner dancers at all. They never took any kind of lesson before. And you made this question saying, but my dancers, my beginners of Kizomba, they already dance salsa or bachata.
That's fine,
so
yes.
When that's why we start using the side notes during the training. Every time we do this note is like, this is a side note, in a way that after you need to evaluate the amount of information that you give to your students. Because if you have a beginner zero in a Kizomba lesson that never danced before, you cannot give too much information about movement, because they are still trying to organize their ideas of how to walk. If you talk about body movement, they will burn out, they will not understand. But if you are teaching Kizomba to a salsa dancer, they already know how to move. So the technical questions, how to move my hip, how to direct my torso, how to dissociate, these are the things that they need, because they are already ready to listen to that. So it was because of you that we start thinking about this. And after immediately the next training, the next level 1, we start using this kind of explanation, saying, look, if you have a beginner zero, just say this. But if you have people that already mastered their body, you have more this, and this that you can say. But always take in consideration the level, what they are ready to listen. Yeah. So it was because of you. Thank you.
Thank you. That changed in Holland, because in the beginning we had old salsa dances, but of course people are now just coming for Kizomba Or they come for salsa and just go for Kizomba, of course. That happens a lot, actually.
This thing split it a little bit more. Just one last question regarding the training, and then we want to talk about the present and the future. Regarding the investment, because there is an investment, and in my perspective, it's a bigger investment of time than properly of money, because the time is the most expensive asset that we have, because we cannot buy it. And taking the decision of leaving the Netherlands during 5 days to come to Portugal, and leave your school, leaving your work, leaving everything that you were having there, and to come here immediately, for us, this is like, thank you very much for the trust, and we need to respect that. But after, of course, there is a financial investment. And let's talk only about the training investment, not about the travel and food, hotel. Let's put this on the part. About the training investment that you made, can you idealize more or less how long it took you to return that investment by lessons that you start teaching?
Let's come back to the time. You cannot, because you learn in such a weekend so much in time. You cannot learn that by just doing it by yourself. So it doesn't even matter if you're going to teach, because it's going to make you so much aware of what you're doing. So it's an investment. If you want to be a teacher, it's an investment that you have to make. Yeah. I don't know. I don't remember how much time it took for me to make it back. I mean, then it's just about putting courses against. But
yes.
No, it really benefited. If I have to pay it now again, and I would have paid double, then I would still do it.
Thank
to
you
be clear, there's no reason for me to say this unless I mean it. Yeah.
Of course, this depends, because if you start teaching just one group of students a week, it will be one thing. But if you have 2, 3, or 4, it will be much faster. But I remind a girl from that she attended our teachers training online version. It was during this pandemic time, because now we have the program online that, of course, have advantages and disadvantages comparing to the physical version. One of the big advantages of the online is that you have all the videos with all the material, with every single word that we share, that you can listen and push back and listen again. When you come physical, we share a lot of things, but they are not written. So you need to take your notes. And with the online, the lessons are pre-recorded, and all the single explanations, they are there. Of course, online, you will not feel. You will not have the opportunity to receive direct feedback from us, but in a physical version, that is possible. But my perspective, as trying to be outside, I think the level 1, it's much better to do it online and then travel to Porto to do the level 2. I think that if the people are able to do this, the process of learning will be much faster, because when they arrive here, they already bring a mindset of way of thinking. So the amount of information absorbed after, it will be much bigger. And I was sharing this, that this girl from Germany, she made the level 1 and she started immediately applying the program. And she said that after 1 month, she recovered all the investment, because all the students that start attending, they like it so much that immediately they start bringing more people. So it was like a snowball. People happy brings more people. And in 1 month, she was able to recover the investment. I remember that Milo was saying, because you remember Milo from Sweden, he was saying that as he have another job, he said that half a year maximum, if you teach at least 1 lesson with few students, you can recover the money. Now,
but Philip is saying also here, and the travel from the table to the couch is for free.
Exactly.
In online version.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, at this moment, what are you doing? You have a school, you have a dance studio, you have regular lessons, you organize parties, events. Now the things are stopped, I know, but thinking a little bit out of that time, What makes part of your
Right now I'm teaching through Zoom, right? I'm still teaching because there's still possibilities and a lot of students were still connecting. But before this and after this, I will definitely have my school again being open for classes, for parties, yes.
so your project that is called Salsa
Yes, Salsa. It's the
Yes,
name of the school is Salsa.
Salsa. So what makes part of the project of Salsa? Dance lessons, parties, something else, or just that?
I was already having my online area, which is of course dance classes, and we already before Corona hit, we already had that. That was already included for everybody when they were following classes. They already had online, you know, like you were saying, when people are at home, they can really practice again and again. So that's really nice. That's yeah.
Yeah, I think this is one of the good things that brought a different perspective to people to understand the potentiality as an extra, the online lessons as something that can be an extra to improve. Okay, so let's place the question in another way. What is the big dream? Do you have a big dream?
Oh, but that's, well, it's connected with your salsa as well. But when I was 23, I wanted to really travel. I was already looking at a camper going to travel. And this is something that has to be happening within 2 to 5 years. And how that's exactly is going to combine with your salsa and with other stuff that I'm doing, that's still a work in progress to really put it in, you know, on paper. I'm really thinking about it. You know, well, you know, if you have the plans written down, then you can focus on it and you can aim. I still don't have them clear yet. Yeah.
Okay, so it's something connected to traveling and also trying to combine the teaching, but traveling, you know, from which parts of the world?
You have places or?
I will have a bus, a camper, which is going to be, so I will be living in a bus and I will travel first to Europe to see more of Europe. And then from there on, I will see. So I really want to, you know what I did now until last year, each time in December, I went somewhere and I lived there for a month to feel the culture. And I really love that. And I want to do that more, but then, you know, feeling more free.
Okay, but your school, it's like, can run without your presence? Or
right now, no. So I don't know yet what's going to happen.
Okay, so it might be a possibility of a pause or having a business partner that can move that part of the business.
There are all kinds of possibilities, yeah.
Okay, because usually we do this question at the end. It's a beautiful dream to do, and you can have a lot of things that you can do about that. Having a blog posting, writing a book, supporting, and because you need to look to the financial part, of course, to be able to sponsor that project that you have, and including maybe associated to some government supports. You can try to find some financial supports for this kind of projects, because it can be something integrated in programs that already exist to be able to deliver dance and culture to places that have more financial difficulties, and you can have a sponsorship about that. Can be private or can be public, from the UA or from, including, you can go to Africa or to Latin America or whatever, and it can be a very beautiful project because it have an extra, it have a mission that is bigger than yourself. One thing is that you want to do something for your own pleasure. Other thing is that what gives you pleasure will bring much more to the others. And this is what we do with the dance. So the mission of ALC, that is our image, is to teach people how to live through the dance. So we believe that dancing really changed people's life in a positive way. So when we realized that, we understood that we don't teach people how to dance, we teach people how to live. And it's a big difference in people's life when they enter on this world. So it's something much bigger than ourselves, and that is the thing that allows you to grow and to move on. So usually we use this part. Tell me.
I actually always tell people, if they ask me what I do, I tell them I learn them to connect with themselves and others by dance. That's
Of
what
course.
we teach. Yeah.
Nice.
Usually we have this final part because we want to try to give like an extra push to people that we love, that is our KTT students. And sometimes people don't organize their ideas and don't allow themselves to dream, and some of them dream but think they are too difficult that dreams to achieve, so they don't do the next step. And we create this we use this analogy of the stair, of climbing a stair. And usually when we think the dreams are too big, we start looking up and we say, oh my god, it's so difficult to get there, that we forget to look down and look to the first step, and being able to go step by step to reach there one day if it needs to happen. But at least we are in the direction. So you already said that you need to start writing down the possibilities and the process, and maybe arrange a name to that project that can after result in a book or something like that. So we would like you to give you this challenge
Input.
to try during this week to do the first step, to sit down on that beautiful background that you have, pick up a pen and paper, and give your time, half an hour that it is, with music that you like. Turn off the cell phone notifications, and give 30 minutes to yourself to try to dream, but write your dreams in a way that you can start creating visual images, and in that way it will be easier to materialize that dream in something that will become a plan, and after a plan, something that will be a reality. So we would like to give you this push to get this commitment during this week, to arrange at least 30 minutes for yourself to start writing that beautiful project that you have in front of you.
Thank you. Thank you. Keep doing your good jobs, guys, because you're really inspiring. Yeah.
Yeah, you will be inspiring a lot of people with that project.
Yes.
It's something that I would love to do, but we had two options. Or, no, in fact, we decided to do two things at the same time, because we invest in an international career at the same time that we invest in roots in our city. But for that, it was only possible with a team, with people that can help you to move. At the beginning, a lot of family, and my mother still helped us a lot, my father also. But now we have quite a big team to be able to support this, with a lot of responsibility associated to that. But something that we would love is to be able also to do this kind of, or at least myself, I don't know Paula, but myself, I would love to have this kind of backpack travel, trying to discover, to feel the cultures and to share and to learn. But it was something that didn't happen, and I don't think that will happen never, because my dreams also adapt and change, and I have other priorities. So maybe when we will be older and retired, we will be able to have like one of that minivan and also just do it for enjoying. So this to tell you that I hope that soon we could have some news from you.
Don't forget us of telling us.
At least you don't need to open too much the door, but you take a picture of something, you upload here on Instagram, or do a story that just have 24 hours of existence, and tag us, just for us to know that you are going on the path, on the route. And then somehow this can be like a small compromise to yourself, saying, I need to tag this too, I need to, and it can keep giving you like extra push to don't forget that.
Go girl, go girl.
Beautiful. And it's good to see your smile and see the sparkling on your eyes talking about this project, because it, by the distance of a screen and a lot of kilometers between ourselves, that passion can pass to this side. So grab that passion and go for it.
And I think you know perfectly what you want to do, but I think with this input that we have here, you are able now to define everything and to give even more intention, even more meaning to your dream. Go girl. I think you are going to do a beautiful, very, very beautiful thing.
Nice.
Thanks.
Just to finish, thank you so much, Astrid, for your time. for your first time here on the live. I hope that you can appear more often by yourself during your sharings. There are a lot of people that have afraid of appearing in live like this. We know what we are talking about. Even for us can be a little bit frustrating sometimes. But every time we do something like this, at least there is one person that after send a message, write a comment, and in somehow we feel that by the sharing that we made, we could help at least one person. So if we can help at least one person, our job is done. So when you start doing this kind of sharings, maybe connected already to your project, beautiful things will appear because you are in the path.
Yeah.
And maybe you will start a live and we'll have 1 or 2 people. Don't look to the numbers. Focus on what you have to share. Focus on the people that are delivering their time to you, like the 10, 12, 15 people that we were having here. They were here almost 1 hour with us, and we are very blessed and grateful for having their time to listen what we have to share, hoping that in somehow we can touch them in a way that they can touch others, that will touch others, and create this kind of chain reaction positive, because the world is full of shit nowadays. So we need to be able to share the positive things, to inspire positive things, and create this positive chain reaction.
And believe in what you do.
Yes.
That is one thing that is very important also.
Just to finish, a message for those that are listening us, just share whatever you want.
Oh my. Well, I think then it's good to still, since it's also about your teacher training, to really tell them that for me, when I did that, I really got inspired. And if you now listening and still are listening, that means that the question that they asked me, they could also ask you. And so knowing that, go by the training and go follow them. And yeah, you guys, really thank you so much for inspiring me. The first time that I saw you, when I went to your training, and each time that we went to your workshop, because you know, when I took my boyfriend, when he started 2 workshops, he got overwhelmed. But at the same time, when he did your workshops, at the end he was like so inspired, the way you were teaching and the patterns. So that's really nice.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, my dear. We will be waiting for your tagging, okay, soon. At least today is Monday, so till Friday. Try to find half an hour.
Thank you, Ricardo, for your inspiration about how I could blend it, because I was I think that I had a difficulty there, how to really blend it, and you gave me such a splendid idea in that way that really fills my heart how I could do it. So thank you. Yeah.
And feel free, if you want, just write us. We can talk again. It's a pleasure to us, because every time we listen stories like this and we place our brain to think also outside of yourselves, because it's a different way of thinking, can help. But at the same time, we are helping ourselves also to think in different possibilities inside of what we have here. So it's an exchange. Win-win.
Yes.
Big kiss, my dear.
Thank you very much, Astrid.
All the best. Take care.
Thank you, guys.
See you.
Bye.
Mwah.